Imagine I do this test and it tells me I'm an introvert.
There's no way.
There's no way. There's no way.
Jonesy and Ray, just wondering.
Welcome back to Just Wondering podcast, where we will surprise each other with whatever topics come to mind. We literally know nothing and have made a rule to never research before recording. So buckle up.
We're your hosts. I'm Jones.
And I'm Ray. And Jones, I was just wondering about introverts and extroverts.
Ooh, very interesting topic. This is something I've always been very curious about. As we all know, I am a very extroverted extrovert, is what I would consider myself, very loud, outgoing. I mean, we all need a little bit of alone time. I would say that I crave social interaction more than I crave alone time, for sure. It's really interesting because there's really like, everyone talks about introverts and extroverts, but there's really kind of like four, right? Like you can be like introverted introvert, extroverted introvert, extra.
Yeah. So if we put it in like a square, you would have like the really extrovert over here with the very introvert here, and then like the kind of midway points that like tend towards one or the other for each of them. Like pretty close to in the middle, but leaning towards introverted, which because
I wouldn't have said that.
When I was like 24, I think, I learned that I'm an introvert. That is a long time to go through life not knowing really something that's very essential to how you get energy and how you give energy to people.
How did you learn that?
I did a personality test at work. Yeah, we did like a team training thing where we did a couple different personality tests, which I found very useful because at work I am driven by efficiency, and I found out all the ways to make people work a lot more efficiently. So all the work got totally done. Everyone always felt good, but I was fully tricking them into doing it.
Nice.
I loved it.
I'm going to go do it right now.
Yeah.
Am I an introvert and extrovert? I think that I'm an extroverted extrovert, but maybe I'm not. I'm definitely extroverted. Definitely more extroverted.
Yeah. So I like went through this revelation in my early 20s where I found out that I am an introvert, which if you guys know me, I'm very outgoing, very like silly, very friendly, very social, but also I thrive better in small groups, not massive groups. I never compete to be heard. I'll sit quietly and listen most of the time. And I do need a lot of time to myself to like recover, I guess, and re-energize. But I was able to like shift my framework. So it was like, even if it was just, I'm going to be on the bus for half an hour, I was like, that is my time. So I read, and I used to drink a coffee before it was a pandemic, and I had like before when I didn't have to wear a mask, but I would just drink my coffee, read my book, maybe listen to music, and just be in my own head for half an hour. And then as soon as I arrive somewhere, I'm like, okay, it's game time. I can be social again.
It's very cognitive behavioral therapy of you. Yeah, I never like really think about that. Obviously I need time like to myself. Like there's sometimes where I'm like, I get annoyed with people, but it's not everybody. Like I could be in a bad mood and there are still people that I would want to hang out with. But as a general whole, I'm like, everybody fuck off. But I think we all get that. And I don't think that changes if you're introverted or extroverted.
Yeah, I think everyone does get irritable with other people. I know there are days where I'm like, every single person is just really pissing me off. And I think, is everyone an idiot today, or is it actually me? Like, am I giving off some kind of energy that's making them treat me that
idiots? Way? What, like a gas, like an idiot gas?
Yeah.
It's definitely really interesting, like navigating through a friend group too, because there's obviously like within a friend group, everyone is different, and I find it hard sometimes if I really want to do something, but my friends are like, I just need some like alone time. I need some me time. And like, I am your me time. Hang out with me. And that's like really hard for me sometimes. But obviously you have to understand it because they need to recharge their batteries by being alone. But I'm like, my batteries are dead and I need you to hang out with me to recharge.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah. So that's what I also learned in the same personality test that I took, was you think that people who are extroverted just like to be around people, and people that are just introverted just like to be by themselves. But it's actually like, I am introverted and I have a lot of friends and I go out a lot and I love being social and being around my friends, but I don't get energy from it. It drains me of my energy. Whereas you, if you're super extroverted, if you're by yourself all day, you're just like, I just need human contact.
It's definitely hard. And like, that's why this whole like pandemic and situation has been so hard, because I do live alone. I'm like already feeling pre-drained from like the future that's going to happen. And I just feel like I'm trying to like get in as much as I can before we're like locked up.
At the moment, the weather has been able to permit us to have social time because we can be outside. We're soon going to be in a position where it's going to be uncomfortable to be hanging out outside.
Yeah. I think that like for me, what I'll need to do in order to like keep myself in a good enough spot is to like find like a buddy. Casey said if we do go into a second lockdown that he's coming to live on my couch. So if he doesn't,
that would be really good.
Yeah, if he doesn't, I'll have to probably murder him. No, don't put that in there. That's what, imagine he actually got murdered and I got arrested.
I think what you actually meant to say is you would have to go move into his place.
Yeah. And like Zoom is fine and it's still fun, but it's nice to have like actual contact, and that's definitely like what drives me. I think you're pretty similar too. Like you always have something.
I always have something on the go. On. I actually get so excited when I come home and no one else is home though.
Yeah.
I never want to live alone. I grew up in a household with 6 other people living there. So I had my parents, my grandparents, my 2 sisters, and I just grew up having people around all the time, but we didn't talk or hang out with each other. We just sat in the same room and did our own thing.
I think it's definitely really different. I would say like, it's funny because as someone who loves social interaction, I do love living alone and I do love having my own space. I find for me anyway, it's taken away a lot of like unnecessary anger, because being alone, I'm like, if I come home and the dishes aren't done, I did that. Like there's no one else for me to like be annoyed with or be mad at or like anything like that. So I really like that aspect, and like you can do whatever you want.
I think that you are an extrovert that also really values your own freedom and independence.
Yeah.
So it's not that living with someone necessarily would make it more difficult for you, because as an extrovert, I think that you would really enjoy living with the right person.
And that's how I am. I'm like, I want to do what I want when I want to do it.
And also sometimes with roommates, it's tough. So if you're living with someone, maybe that person doesn't want you to invite people over every day, but maybe if you live by yourself, it's not that you want the space to be alone in, it's that you want the space to do what you want with.
I think that's where I am.
You don't want to have to negotiate
answer to
with
anyone
else.
Yeah. I don't want to ask permission to do what I want to do in the place that I live in.
Exactly.
How do you feel? I guess another thing about introverts and extroverts is I think that sometimes it can be very hard in like a more like romantic relationship if you are polar opposites. That has been my experience. A lot of people in my life have told me like, you need to stop getting involved with people who are introverted, because that's why not like that's why it's not working, but that's probably a big aspect of like the issues that do arise. And I 100% agree.
I do agree that it has historically been the biggest problem in your relationships, because you want to do things with your friends and you want the person you love to be involved as well. Mm-hmm. And if they choose not to be, you kind of take it personally. Like, I don't see what's wrong with my friends and I, so if you don't want to come, you don't have to, but you're not going to just say, I'll stay home with you.
Yeah. And I love a lot of people.
Yes. For me as an introvert, I haven't found that is super challenging, because also I'm not a polar opposite. Right? So you are like extremely extroverted, mm-hmm. and someone else that you've been in a relationship with has been super introverted. Yeah. Because I'm kind of in the middle and literally thought that I was an extrovert for 60, 70% of my life. I don't even know the percentage, but for a long time, I really thought I was an extrovert. It was very surprising to me to find out I was an introvert. That means if I was dating an extrovert, I would probably just be a little bit more adaptable.
Yeah.
If you found someone that was like more flexible,
like more in the middle, like not an introverted introvert. Imagine I do this test and it tells me I'm an introvert.
There's no way. There's no way.
There's no way.
No, you can be polar opposites and have a successful relationship, because my parents,
Yeah.
My mom is incredibly extroverted, and
Your mom is me.
and my dad is incredibly introverted.
Yeah.
And they have a very successful marriage and they love each other so much. So like sometimes you can find that balance, but then basically my dad's solution was, I'm just going to grow my own friends, and had kids.
Had kids.
Yeah, but also you would probably prefer to find someone that's kind of in the middle, because you don't want someone that actually wants to do everything with you all the time.
No, I don't want
Right?
that either. Yeah, I need a good.
Right. So you want someone that's kind of in the middle.
But it could be someone who's super extroverted, but also is able to like do their own thing.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I want.
I don't like planning things, but I do like also scheduling things. And I also really don't like when people change or cancel the schedule. Because I'm like, okay, cool. I actually put in a lot of effort to fit you into my schedule because I'm more busy than most people.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that my time is more valuable, but I'm just saying now I feel really disappointed that I'm not going to see you.
Yeah, I feel like that a lot too. I'm more open to like, obviously sometimes shit happens. Like sometimes you do
Of
have to cancel
course.
things. Sometimes like fine, but it's also like, yeah, if you and I just like planned like 3 weeks in advance to like meet and have a dinner, and then on the day of you're like, hey, actually like I'm just like tired, which is fine. I guess like some people have to do that, but then I'm like, well, there's also like 3 other people that I've been trying to like do something like this with, which sounds selfish and sounds like, oh, my time's important, but that's not what I mean. I just like,
No, but I think it's still recognizing. So you said in that, right? Like I recognize there are people who maybe when they're very exhausted, or maybe it's like they're exhausted emotionally or mentally, they're going through a lot, and you
mhm.
do recognize that, and you know that it's self-care and they do have to cancel to take
Yeah.
care of themselves. But you're hoping that they would recognize that for you it was very important to follow through, because I
Mhm.
don't cancel on people. If I can feel like actual rotten garbage like I did on Monday, and I had plans on Monday after work, and I worked the full day trying not to puke, went home, laid on my bed for 20 minutes just to be like, okay, just get prepared, and then I got back up and went out to the bar to meet my friends.
I
Because
saw that you went to the bar and I was like, what is happening here? I was like, how is this possible?
yeah, I didn't want to cancel on them, because
Yeah.
there are people that are very important to me, and we
Mhm.
haven't been able to make the time to see each other,
Yeah.
and I would never want to disappoint them.
Mhm. And that's why I understand it and I get it, but I also am like, still sucks. Do you think
Yeah.
you get introverted and extroverted like from your parents?
Yeah, I don't know. I think partly it could be from our parents. I'm not sure if it would be
Mhm.
considered a genetic thing. I would guess not.
No,
I
probably
feel
more
like,
like nurture.
yes. And I
Mhm.
think that's why I was so confused growing up as well, because my little sister is incredibly shy
Yeah.
and incredibly introverted. And so I kind of got put in the situation where I had to mediate every social interaction for her,
Mhm.
which was all learned behaviors, but they're not things that are natural to what I need for
Yeah.
myself. And so I went to every birthday party with her, talked to every parent for her, which forced me into an
Being.
extroverted role that I
Yeah.
would not have normally done. So I did get those traits from my family.
Mhm. It's definitely really interesting too, though, because I look at my like my immediate family with my like parents and my siblings, and I wouldn't really say any of them are very extroverted. My dad might have been like really different when he was younger, but obviously I wasn't there, so I don't know. Maybe I just was born with a loud voice, so that it just came natural.
I think also because you're competitive and you had
Yeah,
an older sister that was not much older than you. So you were just trying to compete to be funnier and smarter or whatever, like to get more attention, right?
I
If you
love
were
attention.
introverted, but if you were introverted, maybe you wouldn't want attention anyway.
Yeah, I am an overpowering person, and I know that I'm an overpowering personality, but like in a
I
bad
don't think you have an overpowering personality, because you're also very emotionally aware of other people.
way. Mhm.
And so you read the room. Jones, what are you drinking today?
Today I am drinking, it's called 8 Track. It's actually an IPA, which is not typical of me. It's from Radical Road Brewery, which is a brewery in like Leslieville, so like
Hmm.
East End. But it's really good. It's not like it's not an overpowering IPA at all. You would probably like it. It's like an IPA that you could drink a lot of. What are you drinking?
Today I'm drinking Karma Citra from Great
Ooh.
Lakes Brewery,
Is
also
it
an
good?
IPA.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
All right, let us know how you feel about introversion, extroversion. Which one are you?
Do you know how we become introverted or extroverted? Is there a
Hmm.
science behind how it manifests in people?
Yeah, let us know. You can email us at justwonderingpodcast.ray@gmail.com.
Follow us on Instagram at just.wondering.podcast.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching and thanks for sticking with us on our, what is this, 25th episode or something? Cool.
So all day at work, I'm giving my energy to other people. Get your finger out of your eye.
It was itchy. My eye was itchy. What was I supposed to do?